Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going over another weapon that's in the game, and it's slowly becoming one of my favorite guns in this game, and this is the ICA Guarantee. This LMG is a beast and a behemoth, and I'm going to show you exactly how to master this weapon. Before we get into it, shout out to these guys, left comments on some of my previous videos, and make sure you're subscribed because a huge chunk of you guys are not subscribed, so make sure you do that. And now let's get into the video. So the ICA Guarantee is an LMG that's available from ICA. If you go to the ICA market and you go to weapons, you will see the ICA Guarantee is listed there for 31,000 Kmarks. That's pretty cheap for this good of a weapon. So for base stats, this thing has 10 damage, 40 round magazine, and 23 penetration. One of the reasons this gun is so good because of the attachments you can put on it, how bulky and how big you can make this gun. So now let's go over the attachments, and there's really only one attachment that you 100% need to make this gun absolutely crazy. Before we go to the attachment that you must have, let's go to the other ones that are gonna accompany the master attachment. So for this weapon, I run the holographic sight. It's easy to craft, it's a great scope, it's a great sight to use. You cannot put a muzzle on this weapon, so don't worry about suppressors or muzzle brakes. You can't do anything to it, just let the muzzles fly. No muzzles here. So the medium converter is gonna be obviously one of the attachments that you want to have. Again, it doesn't have to be purple. Get a green one, get a blue one. These purple ones are decently expensive to craft. You need an auto loader, and those are pretty rare to find. But again, get a green one, get a blue one, just put something on there so you have a little bit more damage available to you. Tactical foregrip is also a really good attachment because the ADS time on this weapon is pretty slow, just the base weapon. So get the tactical foregrip on there. It's not too expensive to make, and so get that foregrip on there, and it reduces the time to aim down sights. And now for this weapon, I use the ultralight stock because again, it's such a big gun, it's so bulky, you're going to be very slow with it. So I tried to up all of the equipment time, all of the aim down sight speeds. I wanted to make that as quick as possible because the recoil on this gun honestly isn't that bad for how big of an LMG it is. We'll go over that a little later in the video. But now for the attachment that you must have, and it's this one right here. The medium extended adds 20 bullets to your mag. So instead of a 40 round magazine, you're gonna have the availability to a 60 round magazine. You can hold the left mouse click down and you don't let it go for like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. It's an absolutely insanely big magazine that can really help you pre-fire corners or just be ready to fire at absolutely everyone and anyone at any time. Another attachment that you can't craft but you should put on your weapon is a rear grip. You can put a rear grip on the gun. I have a green one. You can find these green rear grips everywhere. If you don't have one, go buy a white one. Honestly, anything will do. This also reduces the time to aim down sights on the weapon. As we see, there's no attachment that reduces recoil, and that's for a reason. Recoil on this gun is very straightforward, and I'll go over how to control it fairly easily because honestly, it's a pretty straight line and it's pretty easy to control. Again, deck out the weapon how you want to deck it out, but this is my go-to version for this gun. So right here, before we do the recoil, this is what I have on the gun. Again, it doesn't make any difference if I had all of these attachments if I didn't. The only difference is for those PvP fights where I can control the aim down sight speed and I can control my time to equip and stuff like that, because this LMG is big and it's bulky, so you want to have as much speed on your side as possible. So let's go over this recoil pattern and really see what this gun's all about and why you truly don't need recoil attachments for this weapon. So before we start firing, understand that this is a 60 round mag. So before we start shooting, remember that this is a 60 round magazine, so we're gonna have a lot of bullets to shoot in this area. It's gonna be a long clip. So let's see how this recoil works. So we're gonna start firing right at the bottom of the wall, and let's see how far it goes. As we see, it's pretty straight, then it goes a little right, goes a little left, and you go very high because there's so many bullets. Again, this is a 60 round magazine, but as we see, the recoil is nothing crazy. There's no real shifts in movement like there was in the Advocate. There's no real shifts in movement really at all in the recoil pattern. Fairly linear line. So if you're going to want to control this recoil, you have to do the opposite of what the gun tells you. So when you're going to try to control this recoil, you're going to go fairly straight down. So when you're trying to control this recoil, it's not that difficult because it's so straight. So when the recoil pattern starts, again, we got to do the opposite of what this shows. As we see, it goes up fairly straight, then it pops out to the right a little bit. So to control this recoil, we're gonna have to go down on this recoil because right here it goes up straight and we have to go down straight. And as we see, it goes a little bit to the right, not too much, just a little bit. So we're gonna go a little bit to the left, and then at the end it does a nice upshift to the left here, goes a nice hook to the left. So we're gonna do a nice slow hook to the right. So this is how we're gonna control the recoil for this weapon. We're gonna hold down, go a little left, and then really peek right there. So the recoil that you're gonna have to control on this weapon is not that hard to master. It's one of the easier guns to master. Let's go over that again one more time just to see it in live action. And again, it's all up to you. I felt like I didn't need attachments for the recoil on this weapon, but maybe for you, you want to help yourself out, get some recoil attachments on the gun. So put those on, help yourself out to win more gunfights, because everyone is different in all these different gunfights. So as we see, we start fairly low on the wall, and it's really just gonna blast straight up for a good amount of time, get that little right, and then get a left hook at the end. There's a lot of bullets to control, so you're gonna have to hold down for a lot longer, because again, you're shooting a lot more bullets on this weapon than you would be for, say, the Advocate or say any other gun really in the game. This is one of the biggest mags in the game, so you have to understand how many bullets you're actually controlling and how many things you actually have to take into account, because again, this is a long recoil pattern, so you can't cut yourself short and go down and kind of stop right here, okay? You got to follow the recoil pattern out and really hold the whole thing. So again, that's the recoil pattern. Do what you want, put your attachments on the weapon. This is what worked best for me, but again, it might not work best for you. Now let's go over how this weapon does against PvE and these creatures, because again, this thing has such a big magazine that it literally doesn't matter how much damage it does. You just keep shooting and you keep frying. So right here we have a Jeff, and we know Jeffs are pretty bulky. They can take a lot of damage. So let's see how I do against the Jeff with, again, a 60 round magazine, and we do have a purple converter on the weapon. So let's see how we do against the Jeff. He didn't open his mouth. Now he opened his mouth with a full clip. We're at 10 bullets left, and there we have to reload. 60 bullets gone, and look how much health he has left. He has about a quarter of his health left, so that's not bad for shooting his weak spot, only for a little bit. Again, obviously the shatter gun or something would be more efficient, but if you have to use the gun and you're in a situation where you just have to kill creatures, this gun will do the job. It does a lot of damage and it shoots fairly quickly, so be ready, and you can definitely kill Jeffs along the way of your journey. So one thing you also have to take into account is the reload time for the weapon. Let's see how long it takes to reload. Put a timer on screen once we start reloading, and let's see how long it takes, because again, it's a really big magazine and you gotta wait for that cock back to be able to shoot again. So compared to 60 bullets in a magazine, the reload time isn't that crazy. It's not that bad for 60 rounds in a magazine. It is an LMG. It does have an ammo belt, so you have to kind of drag the ammo belt. You gotta click it and rip it, baby. So there's a lot of stuff to take into account when reloading the weapon as well. So just be ready and understand the weapon before you go out and really try to master. So here we'll just finish off the Jeff, and I'll let you see. He opens his mouth and we shred him. It was fairly simple. Hit him with 23 bullets and he's already dead. So again, in total to kill the Jeff took 83 bullets. Not that bad, honestly, for the rate of fire that this weapon has. I think pretty sufficient. I want to take this gun in solely for killing marauders, but at least you know you can kill them if you have to. So now for the PvP part of the video. This gun is something that I like to use in those smaller to medium range engagements. I can't really use it in the far range engagements. First of all, because I am using a holographic sight, so if you stick a 2x sight on it, it might be better for you. And if you master the recoil, you can really control this gun. But you'll see I see an enemy up in the distance, and again, you'll see how far away I shoot the guy. And this is one of those distances where it's pretty solid. There was a slight fog, so I couldn't really see the enemy when I was trying to shoot. So bear in mind, there's a lot of different factors when you're shooting at this weapon. So bear in mind, there's a lot to take in, and you really have to take a lot into account. So right here, I see an enemy. This is a fairly good distance. I'd say it's around 30 meters, me to him. So let's see how many bullets it takes, and if I kill him in one clip. If he moves, how I do with the recoil. Let's see right here. So as we start shooting, we get some good shots on him. Again, the gun moves a lot, so we get some really good shots, and we kill him. 18 bullets left in the mag. So took 42 bullets with my aim to kill him. I don't think we hit that many shots. Let's go over it one more time. Again, my recoil control wasn't that good in this clip, but let's go over it one more time. See, so we hit a couple shots, miss a lot of shots. So I'd say if we go over the shots that I just hit, shots that I did not miss, I would say I probably hit maybe 20 bullets in him. So that's not a bad ratio for killing the man. And this was the ideal distance for me using this weapon. That was a really solid distance. It's not too far. It's not too close. I can take cover. I can use the area around me for my advantage to maneuver with this weapon, and I can back up if I have to reload and take my time with it. Now, this is an example of the range that's just way too far for me with this weapon. So I reload, and his teammate's still alive. I don't end up killing him, and you'll see what I did with this weapon at a certain range. Again, this is not the range that I typically use the gun at. It's a little far for me, but you'll see what I mean. So right here, we see the enemy sneaking up from around a very far tree, and this distance is very far. I'd say it's 100 meters or so, maybe even a little more. With this gun with a holographic sight, I would not recommend it from this distance. Again, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying if you stick it 2x on it and you want to use this weapon as a further range weapon, go ahead. It works well. You just need the sight for it. So in that gunfight, we do lose the guy, but here we have a fairly close close gunfight. Some guy nades me, and now I know this guy's gonna push me, so I really gotta focus up because this would be the first close range encounter we have. As you see, we saw him here. Let's back it up real quick because we have to take some heals. We have to see where he goes. So we see him pushing up here soon on the right-hand side. We see he is moving up. He is holding a grenade as we see his animation. We know we have to get this heal off and we have to reload because this is going to be our first close range encounter with this weapon in PvP. So let's see how the weapon does. So we heal, we back up a little bit to really manage our time, get the weapon out, and we rip him. We absolutely destroy him. Let's see that time to kill again because this gun is gross and you have to understand how powerful this gun is. The guy moves up. We have 46 bullets in the magazine. Let's see how many bullets it takes to kill him. We have 33 bullets left. We did not hit every shot on him, all right? We probably hit 7 bullets on him. We killed him in 7 bullets from that range. Of course, he was probably a little bit low. Who knows? I think 7 bullets is a really solid time to kill for this weapon in this range. Again, the gun's a heavy-hitting LMG. You're going to want it to hit quick, fast, and hard. And right here is another example of how hard this weapon hits up close. Again, I have a full magazine. We see an enemy right in front of us. He is completely lost. He doesn't even know I'm here. So we move up on him. We jump up to get the height and get the good angle on him. And let's see how many bullets it truly takes to kill someone because we have a fairly free shot on this guy. So we move in. We shoot a lot of bullets. We really don't miss any bullets. And we have 45 bullets left in the mag. So we shot 15 bullets to kill him. At a fairly close range, I probably missed 2 or 3 shots. So I'd say it took 12 to 13 bullets to kill this guy. The time to kill and the fire rate of this weapon is so high. I just love it so much. It's such a solid weapon that a lot of people really don't use. And again, it is one of the loudest weapons in the game. And let's see this kill again. We just absolutely shred him. There was no time for him to think. The only downside with this weapon is if you're in a fight, everyone on the whole map is going to know you're there because this gun is so freaking loud. But if you can get over that hump and that negative factor in this weapon, you're going to love it. So guys, thank you for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe and leave a like. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.